Happy Halloween, everyone! You might like to know that I dressed up as another YouTuber, Miranda Sings. Today, on the Gender Resources playlist, I want to address the question of what is it like to live my life as a non-binary adult? And the reason the question is phrased that way is because there's a certain stigma that non-binary individuals are all teenagers and that they're going through a phase. So I'm coming at this video as someone who's an adult with a car loan to prove it and who has identified as non-binary for 6 years. There are definitely people who have identified as non-binary longer than I have, but 6 years is a decent chunk of time. As human beings, we struggle with in-betweens. We think best in definites. We like things that are easily distinguishable as black and white. For this reason, people who fall in between any two categories often face a lot of difficulty socially. An example that comes to mind is bisexuality. People inside the LGBTQ community are guilty of extreme biphobia in a lot of cases. Asserting that bisexuality is a phase invalidates the experience of people who identify as bisexual. That's how it is with a non-binary gender. Just because you don't understand what it feels like to be me doesn't mean that I'm somehow between identities, that I'm confused or unsure. As a matter of fact, I know exactly who I am. And it just happens that a component of who I am is that I'm a gender non-binary individual. Arielle Scarcella posted a video recently where she asserted that there are only two genders, that true trans people fit into one of the two binary genders, and that people who are non-binary are actually a man with feminine tendencies or a woman with masculine tendencies, as opposed to people who have the experience of a non-binary gender identity. I don't want to dwell on this too much because I think that in large part this video was made as kind of a let's try to get people riled up. But there is something that comes up for me, and that is the idea that what Arielle was saying is in no way revolutionary. Actually, it's the easiest possible thing to say with regard to gender, because our entire cultural narrative of people who have never had to interrogate their cisgender identity will stand behind you and cheer you on. What is it like to live life as a non-binary adult? Well, it's like having your own personal Arielle Scarcella in your back pocket everywhere you go. People say what she said, and they say it to you or in front of you. They say it even if they're members of your family, even if they're someone you're in a relationship with. People invalidate non-binary genders left and right every single day. What Arielle did was make it loud. She seems to be more concerned with being loud than being right, or with being loud than being sensitive. I think there are a lot of eloquent conversations going on about this, namely a reaction video posted by Chase of Uppercase Chase. I'll link to that below. But for me, it's par for the course. I don't personally need my gender identity validated by others, least of all by someone who doesn't know anything about the experience of being a trans person or a non-binary individual. But that doesn't mean I don't exist. It doesn't mean that my experiences aren't real. And it doesn't mean that I haven't spent the last 6 years of my life trying to construct relationships, jobs, and housing situations that allow me to feel comfortable with who I am. Why would I bother if this wasn't my identity? Non-binary is not some transitional phase for me. It is just where my gender naturally exists, and that is absolutely okay. For those of you who felt invalidated or attacked by the recent conversations against non-binary people, I support you, and I'm sorry that that has been your experience. Your gender is valid because it's yours. I support and affirm you, and I'm going to continue to make educational videos because conversations against trans and non-binary people happen often enough. We need to be able to have this kind of conversation more often. This video topic was actually suggested by one of my patrons on Patreon, and today is the very last day to qualify for a custom postcard. So if you become a $1 patron today, I'll be sending you a postcard probably tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.